Hello friends, welcome back. My name is Oscar Montesiga. I'm a certified wine and spirits instructor for the International Wine and Spirits Guild. Also a Master of Agave Spirits with the Agave Spirits Institute. And thanks for joining me here again at the Booze Library. I'm at Uncorked Vintage Academia. Today I'm going to bring you an original cocktail. This is a unique and original creation by yours truly. However, I do have to be honest, this new creation is inspired by another original cocktail. And this other original cocktail is, or was made by Marco Antonio. And he is in Mexico City. Marco Antonio is a Master of Agave Spirits. He has a channel called Mezcal Buzz, so make sure you hit subscribe and like. Look him up on YouTube. He has an Instagram and Facebook. He creates videos, podcasts, and a lot of great information about Mezcal and Agave Spirits. Mezcal Buzz, look him up. And Marco, he created his own twist on his own original idea that he calls Mezcal en Nogada. The cocktail that he created is inspired by a national dish, a pride dish of Puebla, and all Mexicans really. Chile en Nogada is the dish that represents Mexico both in culinary traditions, in color, and in seasonality. And by that I mean Chile en Nogada, the dish itself, is reported to have been invented around 1920, 1921 by nuns in a monastery or a convent. And the monks, or sorry, the sisterhood is reported to have been created the dish to welcome and invite and host a commander named Agustin de Iturbide. Iturbide would later become Emperor of Mexico in the Mexican Empire for a very short time. I think his reign as empire or emperor only lasted about a year, year and a half, very short time. But he was hosted in Puebla, and Puebla is the home of Poblano peppers. So the dish itself centers around this stuffed Poblano pepper. The pepper is filled with picadillo, or basically a mix of ground meat, ground beef with a little bit of peaches and cherries or other fruits. And then the pepper is topped with a white sauce that we call Nogada, the Nogada sauce. But it's a white sauce combining walnut, cheese, cream, and sherry wine. And then that sauce is later topped with pomegranate seeds to give it color, so it looks red, white, and green. And of course, the most beautiful flag in the world, the Mexican flag, is green, white, and red. So we use the same colors in the dish as we do in our flag. It's also a dish that comes around seasonally around the end of August and early September. That is when the pomegranate trees are bearing fruit. So we start to harvest pomegranate seeds, and it also so happens that September is our national month, the month of most national pride in Mexico, because that's when we celebrate Independence Day. So for all three reasons, this dish became a national sensation. It's really a national pride dish. Aesthetically, it looks beautiful. The seasonality of the ingredients is beautiful. And of course, the fact that we celebrate with a flag in our plates every September is also beautiful. So he created a twist on that dish by creating a cocktail. But also, just to let you know more about where Nogada, the name, comes from, a nogal is a walnut tree. So the sauce that we put on the dish is called Nogada cream or crema de Nogada, meaning a walnutted sauce or a walnut sauce. And that's really the name of the dish, even though it's a Poblano-centric dish. So what he did was Mezcal de Nogada, and he created the cocktail with actual crema de Nogada, or something, a sauce made from scratch in Mexico City. And I told him, I'm gonna recreate this recipe with ingredients that are likely more approachable to people that are not in Mexico, or that they cannot make a cream sauce from scratch, just so that you can get the idea of the cocktail, of the dish, and have fun during happy hour with eating eating your drink or drinking your food. In other words, because every element in this cocktail is basically food driven, very, very food driven. So I'm not gonna use mezcal. That's what he did. I'm gonna use Destilado de Pulque, and Pulque is really the most ancestral of alcoholic beverages in the American continent, because Pulque has been made for generations, meaning thousands and thousands of years, because once you harvest the agua miel from the agave, which is a naturally sweet nectar from the agave, Pulque just ferments, and it has a lot of probiotics and nutritional elements that Mesoamerican and pre-Hispanic cultures have been using since the archaic period. But anyway, so my base is going to be Destilado de Pulque, and I'm going to start there. I'm going to use 2 ounces of Destilado de Pulque, and today I'm using Estancia. This is a beautiful Destilado de Pulque made with Salmiana from Tlaxcala, not very far from Puebla. So 2 ounces of that. The next major ingredient is Ancho Reyes liqueur, and you want to get the green kind. The green Ancho Reyes, which is made with Poblano pepper, apropos. I'm going to use 3/4 of an ounce of Ancho Reyes. Next, I'm going to use 1/2 ounce of pomegranate liqueur. And this pomegranate liqueur in particular is actually made with tequila. So we are including another agave spirit in the recipe to keep it as Mexican as we can. Next, I'm going to use a walnut liqueur, also 1/2 ounce. And most walnut liqueurs are made in Italy. Some other ones are made in Netherlands. I believe there's some domestic producers out of the Pacific Northwest, I think, also making walnut liqueur. I'm using one from Bulgaria today that uses green walnuts. 2 ounces of Destilado de Pulque, 3/4 of an ounce of Ancho Reyes, 1/2 ounce of pomegranate, 1/2 ounce of walnut liqueur. And another wet ingredient, I'm going to use 3/4 of an ounce of Orgeat. And Orgeat is a syrup that is typically made with almonds. Almonds or apricot kernels, and it actually combines, of course, sugar to make it a syrup. Some recipes include brandy or cognac, some recipes include lemon juice or orange juice, some recipes include orange blossom water. But make sure you get a quality Orgeat. And Orgeat, again, typically almond or apricot kernel, which have a similar flavors. Traditional recipes also call for both, so make sure you get a true artisanal style Orgeat. And that will give it a nice creaminess. But that is all my wet ingredients. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wet ingredients. What I'm going to do next, this egg, I'm going to crack it. I'm going to use the egg white. So I don't want to combine that with my wet ingredients here. I'm going to crack the egg, and in the bottom of the tin of my shaker, I'm going to try to separate egg white from yolk, which is happening. There you have it. Beautiful egg white, yolk on the side. And the last thing I'm going to do for you is, see my mortar pestle? I have actually 1 walnut. All you need is 1 Castilian walnut, and smash it to pieces, to smithereen. Basically, I want to ground this up to a powder, not a paste, but just a powder, or crumbles. But if you can, just a powder, it'll be perfect. Now, you may be wondering, what the hell? You know, what is this little tool doing here? Well, for craft cocktails, you may need more tools than you may find at a basic run-of-the-mill bar. Because a craft mixologist, besides his skills, he's really only as good as his tools. So you need quality, good array of tools to make good quality craft cocktails as an array, different things. So there you have it, ground walnut. It's going to be combined with the egg white. into the bottom of my tin. Now I have the egg white and walnut powder. I'm gonna combine with wet ingredients. I'm gonna give it a quick dry shake without ice. And what I want to do here is denature that egg white. There is plenty of alcohol here to denature and break down the egg white. Some people call it that's cooking the egg white. But in technicality, what the word is meant to be is denature. And there you have it. You're also creating foam, so be careful with that top of the shaker. But now that it's foamy and denatured and cooked, or semi-cooked, I'm going to combine with ice. And for this particular cocktail, I'm going to serve semi-up. I'm going to be using a snifter that I've been chilling here with ice and water. But just before I shake my cocktail, what I want to do is grab a little bit of orgeat or another wet ingredient that you have, and you want to go around the rim on the outside. Just wet that rim a little bit. And the same mortar and pestle that I used, I already did some walnut that I'm going to garnish with on the outside. So I'm doing a powder walnut rim, so to speak. So shake some excess. And there you have it. Now shake to wake it up, not to put it to sleep. I'd say it's up to you if you want to pour this over rocks, which you can. But I'm just going to strain this up. So I don't really have a lot of room here for rocks on a snifter. But there you have it. Find a nice little foam. Lastly, sorry to disappear for a minute. I'm actually gonna finish here with a couple splashes of peach bitters. And there you have it, the Pulque en Nogada. For your pleasure, Pulque en Nogada. Let's see how that comes out. You know, it's very nice. I wonder what, how different it is from Marco's recipe. And I know the recipe itself is quite different, but I wonder what the taste difference may be. You can taste the pulque, which is important. Your main spirit should be there, which I can taste the pulque beautifully. I can taste the Poblano liqueur. I can taste the walnut, both from the rim and the liqueur. What may be lost slightly is the pomegranate. And also that creaminess, floral notes from the orgeat. So maybe the floral notes are combined between the pomegranate and the orgeat. It's a very nice cocktail. I could see pairing this with the actual dish of chiles en nogada, but also to use it as a closer or as a dessert. It's not very sweet. It really isn't sweet, but well, it is sweet, but it's not very sweet. But it would be very nice to the end of a meal because that nice, creamy, comforting feel is there, almost like if you're having somewhat of a liquid ice cream, malt shake. You know, not to the extent of like a Brandy Alexander, but it's close. So I hope you give it a try. Give me a shout out if you have any opinions or thoughts. Make sure to reach out to Marco Antonio Gutierrez at Mezcal Buzz. And thanks for watching. Until next time. And even though we're past September and Independence Month, November, we celebrate the Revolution. So cheers to the Mexican Revolution. And you can have chile en nogada year round when you have it in a cocktail.